All right, we're live. What's up, guys? So, if you're just tuning in, actually, for the people who are watching this as a replay, this is just going to be a Q&A. So, I'm just going to answer questions, and it's more or less just to get me into the habit of just doing content consistently, because I've had like one of the worst possible days today. So, I'm gonna make content regardless of all the chaos going on in my life and the whatever happens. So shout out to my one viewer, Cho. What's up, Cho? How's it doing? What's going on? The Castle alumni. All right, we got 6 people in the chat. Dude, these numbers are blowing up. Dude, people should copy this link and send it to all your group chats that are game related. You know what? Let me just do that. I'm going to do that on YouTube. I'll put it in all mine. Just say, join the stream. Cool. And then I'm going to add the StreamYard link to YouTube, and then you guys can join as well if you want to jump on the stream, because why not? Streaming. Can ask questions. Hang out. Let's do game transformation chat. Streaming, ask questions. All right, let's see if we can get anyone to ask questions for the Q&A. Well, actually, I guess I should title it Q&A. This is a Q&A. You know what's funny? Like back in the day, people used to ask tons of questions, and like now no one asks questions. Most people just lurk. Lurkers and dabblers and triers. No idea who this even is. Do you think direct is better in certain situations? Yes. You still game? Yeah. So a lot of questions I get on YouTube are just people that don't know my Instagram. So if you just go to my Instagram, you'll see content, you'll see videos, you'll see behind the scenes of immersions. So my Instagram is very cryptic. It's Austen Summers, like literally everything that I have. So yeah, but I'd say a lot of my time gaming now is just helping students. So yeah. Okay, so this question usually comes from people that just have no friends. So it's good to have friends and wingmen to go out with. And yeah, actually, I'm going to close the door because my vacuum cleaner is going to wash them up. Okay, so gaming solo. Yeah, so I have a whole video about this. Nailed it. Yeah, so it's not even necessarily your fault. So, dude, this is one thing. The more I stay in this field and like the more I research stuff, the more I understand how there's a lot of other stuff underlying this. So I'm going to guess you live in America. A lot of America, the way the cities are set up and the way that everything's set up in America is designed for you to be lonely. So what they've done is oil companies and car manufacturers and tire manufacturers have lobbied governments to basically create suburban sprawl. And you're basically like it basically puts you in a suburban house where you don't know any of your neighbors. There's no one like that you can connect with there. There's no public spaces for you to interact with people. There's no third spaces. So there's like first, second, and third. First is like home, second is work, third is like where you'd hang out, like the neighborhood bar. A lot of these third spaces don't even exist anymore. So you can't even interact with people naturally the way you used to be able to. So yeah, I'd recommend check out this channel, Not Just Bikes. It's a really interesting channel, and they talk about like what the importance of living in a well-designed city is. Yeah, this is another good point. It's because there's in a city where you're walking around and you have to use like walking and biking because it's the easiest way to get around, you're naturally like burning calories. That's one of the main reasons Europeans are thinner than Americans. America also has like less food regulations than other countries, but yeah. So yeah, it's not really necessarily your fault that you don't have friends and a good dating life because it's kind of designed in the US for you to be miserable and lonely. So what I'd recommend is moving somewhere that has good public transport, somewhere that has uh, like a walkable area where, like, dude, in my building, I'm talking to girls every single day, whether or not I want to. It's just that's how it is. So I'm bumping into people, I'm talking to them. There's always like socialization occurring. When I lived in a house, I could like not socialize at all until I go to the grocery store pretty much. And even at the grocery store, I could do automatic checkout. But yeah, so if you're living in a city where it's like walkable and you can talk to people, ideally a city that's not super stressful, that's the best. So like, yeah. Um, Virtually every scenario is better for being direct. And you don't the what saying statements of intent is like how most people think of direct, but I just think of it as showing intent through your sub communications. So I'll break that down. Basically, the way to when you're starting out in game, when you're in the desensitization vibe phase, this type of stuff, you're gonna say like, "Hey, I thought you were cute," da da da, and it's gonna establish that man to woman vibe from the beginning. But your like sub communication won't be very man to woman. So for example, if I said, "Hey, you're super cute," that's not very man to woman. But if I said, "Hey, yeah, I liked your hat," what I'm saying is more indirect, but the vibe is like so much more sexual and it communicates that sexuality. So, yeah, that's something that you'll develop more when you go through the sexualization phase 3 game. If my IG doesn't work, then that means you were blocked, which means you did something stupid. How to get over fear of approaching? Yeah, so basically, I'll outline it. You have to warm up. First, you have to create a fear hierarchy. So, like, I've already done that for my course. So, I keep saying my IG is down. Let me see. Instagram. Oh, is Instagram down in general? Let me check down detector. Yeah, Instagram is down in general, I think, right now. Yeah. Yep. The outages reported just soared to like 12,000 from like 10. Okay. Well, then you probably are, you're probably not banned then. But I occasionally will get people like, dude, can you unblock me from your Instagram? It's like, dude, if you were blocked, you're fucking retarded. But yeah, so you're not retarded. That's good. That's good news. I'm in Miami. My building name is hold on, let me find the actual name. It's the Icon in Miami. Cool. favorite place to the game in New York City. So, yeah, the cool thing about New York, I was actually there a week and a half ago. The cool thing about New York is like literally everywhere you can game. The spots like for day game, the spots that are like known as like, oh, here's the day game spot. They're typically not going to be as good because there's a lot of people swarming in there. But dude, you can approach everywhere in New York. I see fucking hot girls all over Manhattan. If I were to choose a place to live, I'd either live in like the meatpacking area, McDougal Street, where else? Soho is really nice. Dude, the amount of like hot chicks that are in New York during the summer. I'm actually doing a immersion program in New York, July 20th to the 23rd. If you guys want to partake in a immersion program in New York City, going to be there July 20th, 23rd. Okay. Boom. And Tampa the week before that, July 13th to the 16th immersion. But yeah, New York's great. You can like literally approach everywhere. Problem with New York, I do think it's a little bit too stressful. I don't really like a lot of the girls there. Just I don't like the idea of living in New York. Like it just seems too annoying. And it's just kind of gross because they didn't plan out alleys, and like alleys are essential for cities, and they just like throw the trash out on the street where everyone is, and rats like running it. It's fucking gross, dude. But yeah, let's see. The cool thing is once you learn game, you can pretty much make it work anywhere. Like you can get laid anywhere because a winner is a winner is a winner. Yeah, I still day game. I mean, it's not like I make a big session out of it, but I can still approach when I want to. Honestly, half of the reason I approach is to keep my skills sharp, and also it's just so good for your mental health, dude. When you're approaching and like socializing and flirting, you're just like a better version of yourself. You're more fun, you're more engaging, your voice is better, you just like are switched on, you're like alert. Like people that don't game are just fucking, I don't know, they're just like a lameness to them. They're just like, oh, I do this, now I go home, now I eat my food, now I watch my show, now I go to sleep. It's just like they're robots, dude. So game is a cool way to kind of break outside some of the norm and express yourself and be the coolest, best version of yourself. Okay. Yeah, so actually I'm quoted on this thing I used to say a lot. It's you have to go to the amount of trauma / pain as like a child soldier in Uganda to get good at game. At least for me, I had to do a lot. Like there are, a lot of my students, almost all my students, I'm like, these guys are like starting from a way better position than I was. I've had a lot more trauma and horrific things happen to me in my life, and I've had to process a lot of that stuff manually to alleviate the hold of the trauma on my life so that I can actually talk to people and do things that are productive instead of destructive. Dude, just leave the house and talk to girls, and a lot of this stuff solves itself. You don't have to deal with the autism of finding out which way to indirect and which just indirect, and dude, just go talk to girls. Most of the time, direct. If you're in a place where it would be fucking weird to do direct, then you can be more indirect. Bada bing. And at nighttime, the girls know that you're there because you want to have sex with them. So you don't have to say, hello, excuse me, I happened to notice you and you looked quite adorable and blah, 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 blah. You don't have to do that. Okay. I'd say when I was about 3 years into game, I felt like I was getting really good. Like I was doing stuff like, I had one girl I was talking to and I'd open another girl and then I'd have them like kind of fighting for my attention, this type of thing. Um, that was about 3 years in. But then keep in mind, I have had a much more intense life than pretty much anyone watching this. So, and also, dude, I didn't have a fucking step-by-step system back in the day. Like for me to learn game, I literally just was like, oh, I just go out or something. Like there was no real format to follow. What I do for my students is I give them a desensitization plan, which is also in the course that's coming out. And it tells you exactly over 9 days how do you desensitize to game. From step one, I have no fucking clue and I'm very anxious, all the way to I can approach and it feels normal for me. So I honestly think Florida has, I'd say probably Florida, California, New York has some of the hottest. But honestly, dude, there's hot girls everywhere. I don't know. Like, dude, I've been to like Oklahoma and seen hot girls. Like, I think certain places definitely will have more attractive women for sure. But you can meet hot girls everywhere. You know what's crazy is when I go to Europe, it's like the girls are way hotter, but it's not that they're hotter, it's just that they're not fat. So America, there's like 50 to 60. I think the actual statistic is like 68% of women are overweight or obese, of adult women. So when you think about that, that's more than 2/3 of women that they can't even express their attractiveness really, because men typically prefer women that are nutritionally disciplined. So in Europe, they're always walking everywhere. They're biking, walking, and the food doesn't have seed oils and stuff. Like, dude, I was on a flight in Europe. The salad dressing was olive oil and balsamic vinegar. Like in the plane, the salad dressing. In the US, it's like soybean oil and fucking canola oil, some seed oils for you, which is it's the hardest fat to lose. Like they do these studies where it's isocaloric and they'll feed one group like soybean oil and it literally they lose less fat than other groups. Even in a caloric deficit, they lose less fat than people that are not eating the seed oils. Anyway, so all information for my programs is online, is transparent. I think I'm like one of the only people that makes their stuff transparent. So if you just go to austensummers.com/immersion, you can see literally everything. And I include your accommodation. I think there's me and the Millionaire Social Circle. So like David Bond and what's it called? Mike Squat and Casanova. I think we're the only two programs that include accommodation and like actually stay with the students. Every other program is just like find your own place. And then you have like worse logistics and it's no bueno. So according to my last immersion program I ran here in Florida, they're like A+++ logistics. Cause like, dude, we're a block away from the best nightclubs. Yeah. And like students, he went on a date and he just walks her home. It's like perfect. What do you think about dating in Europe? Honestly, I want to move to Europe. I'm going to give America one last chance. This is like my last year in America. If I, can't handle it anymore and I just don't like it, then I'm just going to leave. This is the interesting thing, is that almost every smart man has left America. So like every guy that's like, I want more feminine women that aren't obese, they've just gone, okay, there are other countries out there that I'm treated better in, not just with women, but financially, tax, all this kind of stuff. So, yeah. France as a country, though, I think they kind of destroyed their country. RIP. But from what I've seen, and like I haven't dated too much in France. I mean, last time I banged a girl in France, it was like, dude, when was it? It's like 2018. I was in France. I banged this girl for her 18th birthday. Yeah, France is cool. I like the language sounds great. The girls' accents are amazing. French women are just so seductive, and they have like a joy for life. They call it what joie de vivre. It's like I think French women are fucking awesome. But yeah, I don't have much experience, so I'd say ask someone who's lived in France longer. How do you know when to take a rejection? So yeah, the 4 times rule is just a good thing for beginners because, if you're just starting in this and you're the desensitization phase, you're like, man, I don't know. Like you're too much of a pussy basically. So you need to persist more because you literally don't even understand the social fabric of what's happening. You don't understand the social landscape. So, and also another thing that as a beginner is you need to pay attention to like when is it a firm no and when is it just like a playful no. Sometimes girls are just like playfully like tease you or say things or push you away or something like this, but then you can see in their eyes, like you look into their eyes and they're like smiling. So yeah, if the vibe is very bad, obviously you don't need to persist. So I say persist as long as it's going neutral or well. Broke up with my girlfriend after 8 months now. I'm not interested in gaming or getting women anymore. Waste of time. I love watching your videos. Will I lose my skill? Well, if you don't care about getting women, why do you care about losing your skill? Doesn't make sense. There is a contradiction in your statement there, sir. Cool. Oh, I was like, what is this thing over here? That's my hand. Okay. Yeah, so real easy things to do. Number one, get a teeth cleaning on your face. Actually, you know what's a funny story for me? When I was first learning game, my physiology in my face was so used to being depressed that I literally could not smile. I like did not have the muscles to smile. So yeah, when you're extremely depressed, you can actually atrophy some of the muscles for smiling. So you basically have to like practice smiling because your muscles are just not made for it. So you have to start smiling. I'd recommend watching some comedy, smile, laugh more, start being more positive, see everything through a positive lens. Like, yeah. And roll with the punches of life. Yeah. And then in terms of your teeth, if that's an issue, teeth cleaning every 6 months. And then you should get Invisalign. So the next things for me, I'm getting another teeth cleaning because after my nose surgery, I basically couldn't. Like the first 2 weeks of my nose surgery, I could barely like brush my teeth. Like it hurt so bad, and like my lips didn't move. So I'm getting a teeth cleaning. Then I have a whitening kit. So Crest White Strips is actually really good. They all use like hydrogen peroxide or hydrogen something else. Some other peroxide thing. Am I frozen? All right, I'm back. Yeah. Teeth cleaning at the dentist, teeth whitening. And then you can do Invisalign, or there's other services like Smile Direct and Candid, and those will align your teeth. So basically, that teeth alignment or like orthodontistry from like those clear plastic things is like a solved science now. So they basically any of those really good companies will do. I think Candid's like half the price of Invisalign, so I would just get that. That'll fix the shape, and then anything else you have to do, the dentist will tell you when they do an exam prior to your dental cleaning. Gym game. So I've actually created two different things that make sense. There's one that people say like, oh, just be the friendly guy at the gym and talk to everyone. It's like, dude, I'm not wasting my fucking time talking to everyone at the gym. I'm going to be at the gym for 7 hours. So I'm definitely not doing that. I do talk to the front desk people. Why do I keep, am I getting, do I keep freezing? Why am I frozen? Can you guys comment if I'm frozen or not? Like the image is frozen. Should I downgrade the quality to like 720? Let me do 720 and see if that fixes it. If you guys can hear my voice, can you is my phone an issue? Camo. Okay, settings. All right, well, maybe I'll have to use this one if this doesn't work. Okay, we're back. And we're live. Yeah, so obviously that doesn't make sense, but the two things I've one of them I have done. I just do direct opens at the gym, or I'll wait till the girl's done with her workout, and like I'll just chat with the front desk lady, and then I'll see her like walk past the front desk afterward and just kind of involve her in this conversation. So I'm like kind of already loose. Yeah, and dude, I just straight up walk up to girls at the gym. But then again, gym is a more high pressure situation, so I'd definitely recommend getting out of the desensitization vibe phase, and yeah, before you try something like that. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm 30. Yeah, honestly, dude, when you think about it, America, in terms of genetics, has some of the most beautiful women on the planet. Like people, United States has people from every single country on planet Earth here, and they're usually like hot, attractive, wealthy families from other countries that do come here. So, yeah, it's just like honestly, a lot of it is the food corporations. It's like they're largely to blame. Food corporations, and then how cities are designed. The other thing that's not lobbying that makes city design shitty is that after World War II, when we entered the Cold War, there was actually a strategy to depopulate cities because, if your city is very dense, one nuclear warhead going off kills like a shit ton of people. Whereas if you spread people out through suburbs, it's less effective. So cool. All right, Azam, tell us trauma dump in the comments. Tell us why you have a more intense life. Oh, la, 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 la. Okay, let's see where I was. Sadly, I'll be there. No, I have never gamed in Savannah, Georgia. I don't think so. I've gamed in Atlanta. Top 5 cities in North America. Honestly, dude, the biggest pro of North America is not the cities, it's the nature. I actually wrote up a thing about this, like the pros and cons of every continent. I should pull it up. Let's see, North America. Yeah, so North America, the pros are has the best natural parks, it's good for business, it's good for consumer choices, efficiency, and people are generally friendly in America. The cons, the culture is very toxic. It's like, like other countries have economic crises. America is in a cultural crisis. Very competitive dating market, very fat people, overly work focused, too expensive, and then there's less civic beauty. South America has the best dating on planet Earth. It's inexpensive, and the inexpensiveness is not just like, oh, you save money, but your lifestyle is amazing. Like at one point I was working 4 hours a month in Colombia, living in a 4-bedroom penthouse with a girlfriend who brought me women to fuck, like in threesomes. And I was throwing parties and going on adventures and expeditions. I had a private chef. I had a house cleaner. All of that for less than the cost of my current rent in America. So it's nuts, dude. Like you basically live like a billionaire on working 1 hour per week, which is hard to beat. But the con of that is actually makes you really lazy because you like don't have to work at all. Another con of South America, it's dangerous. There's lack of options, horrible pollution. They don't care about the environment, unpunctual. Asia, really diverse food culture, inexpensive, good dating, cool history. Cons, pollution. I think the worst plastic pollution comes out of like Philippines and some of these other like jungle Asian countries. And then a lot of the places where the dating is better than the US in Asia, the women are typically like a standard deviation less attractive than Europe or South America. And it's not saying that there's not attractive girls. It's just that the normal curve is pushed one standard deviation to the left, which means that there's fewer 9s and 10s or very super attractive girls, which means that the competition for them is higher because there's just statistically fewer. Then Europe has the highest percentage of attractive women. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're easy, but definitely the highest percentage of attractive women on planet Earth. The cities are super walkable, good life balance, reasonably priced, great history, art, culture. And you're in a place where like people value human life and like there's empathy, which is cool. Cons, older constructed cities. So like, for example, elevators, you have to like take an elevator that was built, 100 or 200 years after the building was built. So you take like these janky elevators and like just weird shit and you have to deal with in these apartments and stuff. Can be a little xenophobic and not as much wilderness as somewhere like North America. Africa, super inexpensive. You could, for $1, you can like camp outside of like this hotel or like, they give you a tent. $1 is your breakfast, $1 is your lunch, $1 is your dinner, $1 is like a beer at the end of the day. Like you could live for basically free in Africa. You also have like really cool animals. You have like really interesting wildlife, like in forget Rwanda, they have like a gorilla sanctuary and stuff like that. You can like see gorillas in the wild. You can see chimpanzees in the wild. You can see like cheetahs, and it's fucking pretty epic. A lot of cool expeditions, and they're usually pretty inexpensive. Then the cons, obviously, pollution, lack of options. Everything's kind of more inefficient and dangerous. And yeah, but I've sent this to a bunch of my friends, and they're like, "Yeah, pretty much summed it up." I don't even know, dude. My takeaway for you is to learn how to use English and punctuation. How do you approach a girl you are looking at and who also knows you are looking at her? Maybe in New York City Metro or coffee shop. When do you start and how do you start? Rule of thumb. Oh, sorry, I pulled this up. Rule of thumb is you just approach as soon as you see the girl. The longer you stare, like the higher likelihood she thinks that you're fucking creepy. Now, if you look at her and you smile and like she looks at you and smiles back, obviously that's a different story. That's just like warm approach. But usually I approach the girl before like she even knows I exist, and then it's very spontaneous and there's like very little creepiness factor. Okay. So yeah, I have a video on this. If you search Austen Summers books on YouTube, it'll pop up. It has like 20,000 views. One of my favorite ones. Actually, I'll give you my favorite book of all time. It's called No Excuses. And it's the reason I'm actually rereading it right now. It's the reason I'm doing this call right now. Today was one of the worst days I've had in like a month. And I just wanted to say to myself and prove to myself that, I can do content creation no matter what issues are going on. Like, dude, my body hurts. I'm falling apart. Like, I have to go to get physical therapy. My wallet was stolen from my apartment from this handyman in my building, which could have potentially got my car stolen. I bought couches. It's cost me like $1,000 to buy them and transport them here. They smell like smoke. So I have to like get rid of them and I have to pay to get rid of them. And I have to buy a new couch. And it's like, they're just like burning money left and right. Like just a lot of chaos and stress. And, if I can force myself to do, 1 or 2 hours of content creation and give me value, then it's a good lesson. If I could do it on today, then I can do it any day. I'm also tired, dude. I got like 3 hours of sleep, but fuck it, dude. Stories are always better when it's like, you know what? I did it anyway. Right. Dude, I don't know if you guys saw my story. Post in the chat if you saw my story in Copenhagen. I literally was on. Oh, I had zero sleep, right? I think I may have slept like an hour in the plane or something, maybe less. Maybe I didn't sleep at all. Oh, no. I slept 2 hours. I stayed up all night before I went to Copenhagen. Slept 2 hours in the hotel room, like in the afternoon or something. Got on my flight, flew to Copenhagen. I got there at 10 p.m. I put my bag away. First thing I said as soon as I put my bag away in the central station was, I walked up to two girls directly and I said, "What is there to do in Copenhagen right now?" And then I proceeded to have one of the craziest nights out I've had in a while, which going out alone is fucking awesome, dude. It's just like this fun adventure. Like, you don't have to keep track of your friends. You just like go wherever the night takes you. You meet girls. There's guys that come in. And it's just fucking dude. Michelle says this one of my students from France, or he's from Montreal. He said, "New nose is looking fire." Lol. Yeah, I'm 30. What else? I'll just scroll down. I feel like I'm missing a lot of stuff. Girls at 30. Do you think getting girls at 30 is easier than your early 20s? 100%. Because, dude, I have so much experience compounded. It's nuts, dude. And also, like, I've refined my theory so much. You guys don't know this, but when I have a question, like when you guys have a question, I just go into my course and I watch the video on the thing that I want to get better at. Because game is so in depth and so complex that you literally can't hold everything in your head at the same time. So a really good way, like once you've even learned game, is you just cycle through the different things. So it's like, oh, I feel like my leading could be stronger this week. So boom, working on leading. Oh, you know what? I feel like I should get more investment. That's one thing I've been doing recently. It's like getting more investment from girls. So like instead of going, hey, look at this photo, I go, oh man, this photo of my dog's so cute. You want to see it? And girls will say, yeah, I want to see it. Show me. Da-da-da-da. And then, even just like little things like that add up, compounds. Level investment equals your level of compliance. So anyway, yeah, it's getting girls now is way easier, at least in my opinion. It's like dude, I've done pretty much as good as I could in my 20s to make sure that I am, set up for success now. And like, I have an abundant life. I'm wealthy. I'm, mostly in a good mental state. I have good friends. I can travel. Uh, the current girl I'm seeing is fucking awesome. Have an awesome dog. I have the ability to like give girls experiences that they like literally only dream of. And the funny thing is my life has become so normal to me that it doesn't feel weird to me to like be able to do those things, to like, be dating a girl and like 1 month in, you're like, hey, let's take a trip here. And you just like do the trip. So, I think the older you get, it does change somewhat. Like women look at older men and they just want to like, if you're older as a guy and you don't have experience, it's like unattractive. But if you're older as a guy and you have the experience, women crave that. Like being in the hands of a man who knows what he's doing and like knows how to make her feel safe, but also knows how to like fuck her like better than she ever has been fucked. She's like squirting and like speaking in tongues. It's like, it's cool. And then you just have so much more wisdom to give and you have so much more to share. So, okay. Yeah, I guess it's similar to online game, how like the best opens are just customized to the girl. It's the same thing in now. It's like I understand all the principles so in depth of game that I just adapt them to the situation I find myself in. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, this is there's a lot of reasons behind this. There's like a confluence of several factors. So one factor is that women, the two biggest ways to like slow the birth rate down are, and it's actually super manipulative that people do this in different countries, but it's increase female education and increase women's ability to get contraceptives. Those are the two biggest factors to slow down the birth rate. It's like slow down how many women are having children, how many children come out of those women, basically. So yeah, if you don't need a man to provide for you and you are not tied down to raising children, then you don't necessarily have to be super feminine to have a life that you can survive in, basically. Women still obviously crave a masculine man, and obviously women do enjoy feminine roles, but yeah, in America, it's definitely diminished, and yeah. But one statement is that genes keep culture on a leash. So culture can't go so far that is just contrary to your genetics completely. So the craziness and the stuff can only go so far, but yeah, it's like it's not only that women don't necessarily need a man for making money. It's just like women are outperforming men in a lot of places, a lot of ways in society. Like, men suffer from suicide more. What's another one? Men are less likely to graduate college and high school. Women are just, if you look at any stat for a college, most colleges, universities are like 60% women. It's like, it's almost 2-1. So they're entering a world where there's fewer men with degrees, and they typically will have more education than a man. They will have more, and then if education's correlated with income, then I wonder what the income is. Oh, well, it's obviously going to be men are going to be making more in general because men have that innate drive. But Yeah, dude, it's kind of interesting. I personally wish that I lived in a tribe 10,000 years ago. I think the trade-offs of modern life do not make up for the downsides. It's like, what is the quote? There are no solutions, only trade-offs. It's like modern society, it's one of the trade-offs. It's like, hey, you want to live in a rich, abundant society? Well, women are going to be less feminine. Sorry. Okay, what are the things to implement to have the biggest ROI on game? Yeah, going out. Actually, you know what? You know what? Even beyond these, it's just like social learning, having a mentor, having a group that you can go out with and consistently like analyze your game with. Um, but beyond that, the 3 game habits: go out, write field reports, and then yeah, follow up with girls. So you have the action component, the analysis component, and then you should be following up. So you should be messaging girls, setting up dates, and just kind of being relentless over text to set up dates. Yeah. And a big mindset thing for that, for the following up, is like, dude, someone's got to fuck these girls. They're somewhat like, dude, you can't just not message them. Women need men as well, right? Women are lonely. So cool. How do you stay positive when we're all being fed corn and soy and seed oils and everyone's getting fat and lazy and don't critically think for themselves? I'm really having a hard time being positive. Yeah, dude. Honestly, that's something I do struggle with as well. It's like the informational controls and the systems of society that we're living in are pretty bad. One thing for me is I do have a glimmer of hope in moving to Europe. I think Europe does a much better job of protecting its citizens from this stuff. Like, dude, half of the people in this stream don't even know what the fuck we're talking about, and they're literally just like pawns in the game. So like a really interesting book if you guys want to, like, you could just watch a YouTube video on it, but it's really interesting if you go in the deep dive. It's called Salt, Sugar, Fat: How the Food Giants Hooked Us. And in that book, it's detailed exactly what they do at corporations like Kraft and Nabisco and Nestle to get you addicted to their food. And one of the biggest takeaways I got from that book is none of the executives of those companies feed their family the food that their company produces. So it's like, I own a food company and I'm not going to feed this food to my family because I know how shitty it is for them. It's like, wow, dude. But yeah, to be positive, I just think you do have to be a bit delusional, right? Because you have to like close yourself off from the problems of society. And it's necessary for some people in society to take issue with all this stuff and to fight for these things, right? To fight for clean air and clean water and clean food. Those are extremely important. But if that's not your role, dude, figure out what you have to do to be healthy and then do that, and then forget about the rest and just be positive. And yeah, because your brain is your brain's default is to be negative. We have like overactive negative biases. So yeah, feed the positive. One thing I like to do for that is called positivity challenge. This is one of the challenges I have in my course. It's like one of the biggest things you can do to have like better vibes around girls. So yeah, 3 parts of the challenge is mindfulness. So you do mindfulness, meditation. Second part is gratitude. So every single day you write down or you say aloud 3 things that you're grateful for. So person, thing, aspect of your life. For example, one person I'm grateful for is my dad for supporting me currently. You know, he's proud of what I do. Whereas in the past, he wasn't. One thing, oh man, I don't have this anymore. It was sad. Ping pong table was like such a fun break. It was honestly like the best money I've ever spent. I think it was like $150, $200 for a ping pong table. And it was like the best work break ever. And then 3 is an aspect of your life. So I live in a beautiful location with clean air. So if you do this every single day with new things, you kind of reprogram your brain to start being more grateful. And yeah. And then the third thing is reframing negative thoughts. So when you do have a negative thought, for example, they're trying to poison us with corn and all this other stuff. So it's like, well, you know what? Hey, at least some people can eat. The way that they're growing food these days allows people to live that would not be able to live without them. There's this one European dude that is responsible for like billions of lives being alive right now. Like billions of human lives are the result of this one man's discoveries, which had to do with like crop yield and like making drought resistant crops, this type of thing. So, yeah. So yeah, basically rewires your brain. And ideally you do this as well. If for people that have learned helplessness, you should be learned helplessness. Basically you have this destructive belief that you can't change your situation. You just got to give up. It's over, bro. And the first thing they tell you in any self-development or self-help book on the planet since the beginning of time has been, you are not a victim. So that's one thing. The second thing is learned optimism. So you want to switch your mindset from learned helplessness to learned optimism. And that's basically the empowering practice of developing a positive attitude that focuses on self-control and tackling obstacles effectively. All right. Best venues in Toronto. Dude, Toronto is kind of done for venues. You basically have to go with a promoter now. That's what I've discovered. All right. Hey, super chat. What's up, Sam? Australian $3 from down under, mate. Yeah, mate. Yeah, right. Yeah. Can't. All right. Awesome, dude. I appreciate that. He says, for all the amazing videos that helped me improve and grow, have a good day, Austen. Awesome, man. I'm going to screenshot this and send it to this girl I'm seeing so she knows that my videos are making an impact. All right. Cool. Yeah, so the biggest thing is you want to get good at deal with your approach anxiety with single girls, like they're just alone, and then you can move on to bigger groups. It's the same thing. You follow that fear hierarchy, and just anytime something makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable, that's a sign that you're doing the right thing. So, for example, obviously within reason. For example, like, you know, if you're approaching one girl and that becomes easy for you, start approaching groups of two. Dude, you know what's funny is I'll have students that are like, dude, night game's super easy, but day game's hard. Dude, I can do dates, but like showing up in this is hard. And then like some guys say approaching groups of girls is super easy because I don't even know why they say that, because it's like you can talk to other girls if it gets weird or something. But yeah, most people think it's harder to talk to groups. But yeah, what I found is that just I've given people like, here's what you do in these situations, but literally the only thing that really works is just throwing yourself in the situation multiple times until your brain just adapts and realizes it's not a big deal. Okay. Dude, Toronto, it's one of the best design cities in North America. I will say that. Like that downtown Toronto core area is so nice, dude. Just hopping on the streetcar, hopping in the subway, meeting girls on dates at subway stations, and you walk. It's like, dude, it's so nice. Like, I would often say this. So a lot of what makes a city good for game is the transportation. And I've known this for a while. Like I've said things like, you know, in LA, the city, it's set up so like if a girl wants to see you, she has to hop in her car and she has to put on the GPS and she has to like look where she's going and fill up the gas and like navigate for 47 minutes because it's a car brain retard centric area. Whereas Toronto, the girl already has her monthly TTC card for the Toronto subway. So she literally, it costs her $0 to come meet you. And she's there in like 10 minutes. And on the subway, she's just like scrolling through Instagram. So it's like not a big deal. So yeah, Toronto's great. Hit up if you're in there, look up Snakes and Lattes. Literally, I don't want to brag, but I fucked like 100 girls from Snakes and Lattes, like just playing board games and talking and then going home. What's up, man? Yeah. So apparently, I guess people don't get my shorts delivered to their feed or the live videos much. So yeah, I'm gonna start putting up some videos soon. I actually have 2 videos in the works right now. One is a documentary about my Barcelona immersion program. So I'm paying a guy $2K to edit that. I paid like $1,000 to get it filmed, and then if it does well, I'm paying another $1,000. So, and then also I went there to Barcelona, so I spent a week of my life. So yeah, that should be a cool video. The other video that's in the works right now is my nose job vlog video. So I got nose surgery. My nose was broken playing ultimate frisbee 6 years ago. So I was hit in the face and it like pushed my nose to one side really bad. And I'd say it's probably like a 75% fix in my nose. And I've noticed a difference too. It's like I'm able to breathe better. Breathing only started getting better like around now, which is like 8-9 weeks after the surgery, but I'm breathing better. My nose just is straighter, looks better. Like literally the girl I'm seeing right now is like, she's like, you have such a beautiful face. And I just noticed girls are more receptive. So it's kind of, it was a really big investment. I think it was $20,000. So it was a serious deal. And I made like a little vlog, just filmed on my camera. So you guys can see me fucking bleeding and fucking looking like a train wreck victim. So, yeah, so those 2 videos are in the works. And then I also have a night game video I think I'm just going to put out for free as a promo for my course coming out. And yeah, I'm going to check how many videos are in my course, and then I'm going to put 10% of them out for free on YouTube, which is easy for me because the videos are already done. So I can just like take them and upload them, just do like an intro, outro. So yeah, I'm going to start putting out some regular style content, not just shorts, not just live videos. So, and if you want more content from me, follow me on Instagram. I know Instagram's down right now, I believe. Oh no, it's back up, right? Let's see. Instagram is back up, baby. So yeah, follow me on Instagram. Username's Austen Summers, AUSTEN SUMMERS. Okay. How many days does it take you to feel more strongly about a particular girl? I'm interested in a long-term relationship at the moment, but I call it after a few dates. If I don't get feelings, am I being impatient? So one really important thing that I'd advise you to do is to write down girlfriend criteria. So something in my course, something that I advise all of my students to do, immersion, mentorship, is to get specific with what type of woman you want in your life. So this current girl that I'm seeing, she meets like 85% of my criteria, and it's fucking awesome. Like even down to the pretty minute details. Like one of my criteria, I'll actually pull it up, girlfriend criteria. So one of my criteria is that a girl is passionate about something, especially in an artistic field, and she likes animals, like just random shit like this. Let me see, dating stuff. Okay. Yeah, and this girl's really into it. Yeah, there are other things that you can't, there's no perfect people, but the main things you should be in alignment on. First of all, there should be an emotional connection. So you should feel something when you're with her. Secondly, it should be like quite easy and effortless to talk to her. Those are like 2 really big ones. And then someone who's a good communicator, and when problems come up, they can communicate in an adult way. Like they can, because relationships aren't just about love. Love is not enough, right? So you want to have a love, like a strong romantic sexual connection with a woman, but you also need to work through things, right? So communication is key. Shared values is super big. So these are things that you should think about. And like, most of the people I get writing this, they're like, dude, I've actually never really thought about this. I just like, if a girl's hot and I like her, it's good. But yeah, you should think like, what are the values I want this woman to have? Because those are the values that are going to be instilled in your children if you have a kid with her. Those are the values that are going to permeate in your life, right? So if a girl thinks it's stupid to work and you like to work because you like to have nice things, you want to have a nice lifestyle, and a girl's telling you not to work, that's a value conflict. And then you can use those values to have difficult conversations. So you can tell the girl, like, listen, when you say these things, it makes me feel this way. And this is one of the things that I value in life is, for me, it's like helping people. I want to help people improve their dating life, which in turn improves every aspect of their life, right? So if a girl's pulling me away from my message, then that's a bad thing. So that's one of my values. So you can use this girlfriend criteria not only to screen girls and to show the abundance that you have and the qualification. You can use a qualification, but it's like a template. So if girls don't meet all of it, you can actually help them live up to some of them as well. And obviously there's some things that, some people are just not going to be okay with, and that's fine. All right. You cannot find someone who meets all of your criteria all the time. So cool. So it depends where you live. It really is dependent on where you live. I would define wealth as earning more than you spend. So, for example, if you only spend $10,000 a year, but you make $100,000 a year, you're insanely wealthy because you're getting 10 years of living for 1 year of earning. Does that make sense? But to have a good life that's fun, for the US, if you're living in a city, I'd say you have to be making at least $150,000 to live a decent life, live like a human being. Now, other people don't have the requirements that I have. Like, dude, I want clean air. I don't know if you can hear the background. I have a air filter in this room. I have 2 air filters in my bedroom. I like to have plants. I like to eat the best food. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm eating out, but I like to eat the highest quality food so that my body is highest quality. And I don't have to pay, for getting cancer and fucking heart disease and all this other shit because I followed Kraft and Nabisco and Nestle diet. I'm actually like eating the food that I was designed to eat. So that I also like having a car that drives itself. So I like to work and I like to not have to. Dude, you ever in stop and go traffic, like in a car, and you feel like, why am I here? Like with a Tesla, you just auto drive and then you can just like watch a movie. Like you can fucking YouTube. I could literally do a live stream in my Tesla. So yeah, I can make money. I can work. I can talk to girls. I can text people. I can set things up. And yeah, that's important to me. So it depends what's important to you. I'd say a place like New York, though, probably like $200K. Talk about ending relationships. Yeah, so sometimes it's just there's not a long-term fit, right? You guys may have seen that really hot Lithuanian chick I was dating. She's like fucking stunning, beautiful. Like everywhere I go with her, people like stare at her. Like epic tits, like fit, works out, great body, beautiful eyes, similar values. Like she was literally down for DTF, down to farm. She was like down to like live off grid with me and like have a beautiful home and like have like 4 kids. And she was also down to live in Europe. But yeah, it was just a timing thing. She was like 26, I was like 28, and she like wanted to have kids right away, and I didn't. There's certain things I want to accomplish in my life before I have children. But dude, the calling to have children is like so strong, dude. I was on this flight to Denmark and I saw all these like cute blonde kids. Like they were super smart and like it was like a it looked like a middle school basketball team. I think they're the second highest ranked basketball team in Europe. And I just like saw all these cute kids and they were like cool and they're like, you know, creative and fun. And I was just like, dude, I want to have like 5 kids. So yeah. Also, like when I look around in America and I'm like thinking like, do I want my child to grow up here? Like, I don't think I do. Well, when I'm in Europe, I like see people that are like, you know, a society that cares about its fellow members. And I see like empathy and I see like people not just grinding into oblivion and like care for the environment. And like, it definitely calls to me. I think my future is going to be living in Europe, either like Norway, Denmark, Netherlands, and living in a great city where I can bike around. There's like giant parks, and then I can, you know, drive or take a train whenever I want to go into nature. Like I could go hike in the mountains a few hours away. Like that just sounds awesome to me. Most places that are absolutely stunning, beautiful in the US are like kind of car infested wastelands like Colorado. One place I would consider is North Carolina. I'm going to spend more time there, but we'll see. Yeah, ending relationships. Sometimes it's just not good, dude. You have to, me preventing that girl from moving on for me would make me feel bad. It's in her best interest to move on. And I'm not going to waste more of her prime years on me if we're not going to, you know, be together for the long haul and like have kids. So when you're younger and like your younger 20s, or you're just dating girls who are in like my current girl is 19. It's like, you don't have to think about kids right away. Like you can take things slower and there's more time. But dude, once 25, 26 comes around, dude, girls start to like think more strategically about like, do I want to have kids with this person? Do I want to have kids right now? Like, what is the goal? Where are we living? What are we doing? What's the vision? It's like your goal as a man is to have a vision, and women have to buy into it. Okay. Average age of people I've coached, I'd say probably like 25, 24. It's usually like people, they went to university, they didn't socialize much, or there's like issues from childhood, this type of thing. And they just, for whatever reason, didn't really have a big social life or dating life. And then they decide to take a program. So yeah, it's usually like after college, 24, 25 around here. But dude, I've had students up to 55. And yeah, I've had students 18. Dude, I had this actually this really interesting guy. He's he like runs his parents' company now, and he like travels and does work. Super brilliant kid. He's from like Ecuador, I believe. And yeah, he took my immersion. Just like, actually he like missed like the first immersion. He was like, dude, something came up like business, and I'm like, dude, when I was 18, I wasn't like, bro, fucking grinding international business. But yeah, so I've had like 18 to 55. Nice, dude. Yeah, that channel like will blow your fucking mind. The channel is not just bikes, if you want to check it out. Dance floor game tips. Dude, I don't really do much dancing. The only time I do dancing is when I've already like met a girl and then I bring her onto the dance floor. Just really not my specialty. I also find it harder to connect with girls and like establish a strong enough connection to pull if I'm just dancing with them. I definitely think it's a fun thing to do. And like, I just let loose and I know like a couple dance moves, but this year I'm getting into dance. So I'm started watching some dance YouTube videos. I just think dance is one of the coolest things ever. And there's so many people that are like super stifled. It's very hard for them to dance and just let loose. So I think like a combination of just letting loose, getting out of your head, unstifling, and combining that with like just knowing some decent dance is great. On the dance floor, really all I do is I just take the girl and I'll dance back and forth like kind of like high school style dance, or I'll like turn her around and have her grind on me and then just get into it. I think one of the funniest things I've ever done, I wish it was on infield. Fucking Christ, dude. This really hot girl, like epic ass. I don't know if you're like me, but I need an ass that I see God in. Epic booty girl. She was like super into astrology, and the our astrological signs weren't compatible. So at one point, we were dancing like this, and she's like, "Man, it sucks that our signs just don't align." And then like I flipped her around, we grinded for a bit, and then I flipped her back around, made out with her, and then I like pulled back, and I was like, "We're so incompatible." It was one of the funniest things I've ever done. But yeah, so the payment plan basically for all my stuff is you pay. That's the plan. No, but for my courses, I do a 1K deposit, and then the final payments due 1 month ahead of time, just to make sure that you're coming, and I don't have to look for anyone else for a spot for your immersion. Okay. Besides your course and videos, what are the best resources to learn game in your opinion? I think YouTube is a decent way, as long as this is the thing. As long as you know exactly what your current sticking point is, and you're only watching content that relates to that sticking point, and then you go out and you do 4 times the amount of time in field. So it's the 80-20 rule. Like basically with game, it should be like 80% in-field experience, 20% learning from theory, mentor, that kind of thing. Yeah, so it's definitely a balance. What you'll find is if all you're doing is approaching, you'll reach a plateau. And then when you're not making further advancement in your game, that's usually a sign that you're doing something wrong, or there's something in self-development that you're missing. So in my own case, I would be going out, and then I'd reach a point where I'm like, I feel like I'm just not connecting with these girls. And what I did is I actually started meditating. And then what I found is I was able to effortlessly connect with more women and just give value much more easily. And yeah, so that's one example. Another one is like, let's say guys are coming into your sets, or guys are, you feel intimidated by guys. Well, you should be lifting weights and you should be learning how to fight. Just naturally, you will exude more confidence. You'll exude more like, you'll just be able to handle stressful situations better. Awesome, man. Why are you surprised it's still on YouTube though? Yeah, the testosterone video I put out, if you guys want to look for it, it's just Austen Summers testosterone. It'll come up. It is by far the best testosterone video for if you want to increase your testosterone on the internet. I looked at all the other videos, and yeah, they weren't that great. So mine combines like what I've done in deep research with the health space, and then I've also tested my own testosterone, and yeah. Anyway. Any experience with German girls? They seem kind of reserved and kind of hard to get going. I didn't find that at all. I felt like German girls were pretty receptive. But then again, I'm like largely German ancestry. So I don't know. But dude, some of the hottest sex I've had in my life is with German girls. I think they're like some of the kinkiest girls on planet Earth. Like Germany and Japan. It's like high IQ countries that lost World War II is like the is the criteria for being the kinkiest. Okay. Nice, man. Good job. Yeah, so I used to say this. It's like, the question is not, does this dating coach have issues? It's what issues does this dating coach have? So you should, I don't know if you're talking about just people in general that are learning game, but every single dating coach has some form of trauma or some issue. The biggest the most recurring issues I see from clients are a weak, feminine, or absent father, some form of childhood or adolescent abuse or neglect, and then getting made fun of or getting very harsh rejections very early on and having a group kind of make fun of you. These are like the three biggest things that I see in programs. Like, keep in mind, I've taught 1,000 students directly. So every single program, there's people where I go deep into their childhood, their adolescence, the events in their life. Because it's so interesting to me that it is very complicated, because it's like, it's hard to find someone who's good at this for a variety of reasons. Number one, the human brain looks to very simple explanations. So people with very simple, like Dunning-Kruger explanations get the most traction. And then that goes for everything. Podcasting, red pill guys, alpha male stuff, dating coaches. Just do this, bro. All that stuff is fucking retarded. And a lot of the time, it's like, it's counterproductive, because you're telling people to do things that these people are traumatized. And it's not that they're trauma, that they had something bad happen to them. It's that they are carrying that trauma with them into the approaches. So there are things that they cannot release, and there's weird vibes that they give off when they're with the girl that causes her pussy to dry up and make her not want to be around you and give her the ick, because you haven't dealt with these issues. So you have to go super fucking deep and understand things from a variety of perspectives, not just in terms of here's the strategy to follow. It's like, okay, well, how do you get someone to incrementally get better to do that strategy? Anyway, this is a whole different thing. This is why I made the course that I'm making, and I've put years of my life into it. You guys will see. If you buy it, you will see how awesome it is. If you don't buy it, you will also see how awesome it is, partially because I'm going to give like 5 to 10% of the content out for free on YouTube. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm just ranting at this point. Okay. Yeah, dude. I was like, what? German girls are pretty easy. Miami. No. This is one of the things I like about Florida, is it's in a great spot where it's like the idea of a drought, like a wildfire in Florida, is just like, it's not very threatening. It's a very wet, green place. Doesn't burn easily. So I'll get a final date on this soon. Keep in mind, I'm fucking doing everything I possibly can. I have so much shit going on, but I am doing everything I can. I don't want to give you guys any excuses, because excuses are for fucking losers. So I'd say August will be the public release. I already did a early bird launch. People are loving it so far. I have a whole group chat for the people in the course already, but yeah, the public launch will be in August, and yeah, really excited for you guys to check it out. And the course, this is a cool thing about the course. It basically pays for itself. There's things that you will learn in this course that will give you more money back than you actually spend on the course. So it's essentially free. Are you working on course, or is it complete now? So it's complete. I have to, work on the launch sequence. So I have to, like, one of the videos I'm making that's taking me a long time is my entire journey in game. So I'm going to show you guys clips from me starting out, when my game sucked, talk about my experiences, what helped me move through different phases of my game. And you can see me suck, you can see me get better, and then you can see, like, when I actually break through and become quote unquote natural, or when I've naturalized, made game part of who I am rather than something that I do. Yeah, there's obviously going to be a lot of cool infield in there as well. And it's something I physically cannot outsource, because it involves like 20 terabytes of footage, and it would be essentially impossible for me to outsource that to someone to edit. Cool. Top 3 cities you would live in long term. Medellin is not one of them. I mean, I guess I did live there long term, 2 years or something, but honestly, after 1 year in Medellin, I was like, whatever. After 1 year in Medellin, I got fucking canceled. And then I like went to a few other Latin American cities, and then I moved back when everything died down. And then I don't know, man. It's just the cons just are not worth it for me. Like breathing in toxic air constantly, just fucking your lungs up every single day. It's not worth it, dude. Like life is too valuable to die of lung cancer because Colombia doesn't know how to refine gasoline and have proper standards for it. It's like, it's not worth it. Okay. Experience with German girl. I already answered that. Coming to Mexico anytime soon. I went to Mexico City, dude. Where were you? This is my life story in a nutshell. I travel the entire planet, 4 continents. What, 5 continents? Yeah. And go everywhere. And then people are like, bro, when are you coming to this place? Why didn't you follow me on Instagram so you could see where I was, bro? I've gone for polls as early as, dude, my previous record was, I think it was like a minute pull or a 30-second pull. I actually broke that recently in Toronto. It was a 15-second pull. So Justin, Mark, and I pulled this group of like 8 OnlyFans girls. And then as we were walking with them, I just walked up to a girl and like, you're coming to the after party? Like just assuming. She's like, what after party? I was like, do I have you on Instagram? I was like, give me your Instagram. Put my phone over, da-da-da. And then the group's moving. I'm like, all right, let's go. Follow the group of girls. Let's go after party. 15 seconds, dude. So in general, though, I usually do it 30 minutes in. So like 30 to 60 minutes in is like a good benchmark. So you build enough comfort, you build enough, rapport. The attraction's already there. There's some kind of like sexual tension. I have already seeded in the interaction. She wants to go. She wants to see my dog. She wants to see the epic view. It makes sense in her head. She also really likes me. We have that connection, and then I just go for the pull. And then, whenever you go for the pull, as you'll see in this Barcelona immersion video when it comes out, is you have to like coax it. You have to, dude, the amount of pulling skill that you can almost think of it like this. When I do a lot of immersions, like people don't even know what the fuck pulling is. So they've never pulled in their lives. So we're in a group, and then like I say, all right, I get everyone on board. Hey, you should seed with your girl for this. You should seed with your girl for this. Let's all go. We're going. And then there'll be some hiccup that comes up. And then all the students just stop and they look at me. They're like, fix this, Austen. So I literally have to get groups of women to agree to what I say and then lead them and then lead the guys and then like decide for them. You guys go with him in this cab. You come with me. Let's go. Boom. Flagging taxis, dude. There's always like stuff that will come up. Objections, issues. Oh, my friend has my keys. And you just have to constantly solve that. That's another reason why I don't drink. It's like, dude, imagine trying to solve like the verbal and situational logistics of a group of people and you're like sloshed. It'd be very difficult. My face when you fall into all 3. I think you're talking about the characteristics of people that missing father figure. How many approaches did I do before my first lay? Probably like 300, 400, something like that. Or I actually don't know. People are like, that sounds like a lot. Like, dude, you can do 100 in a weekend. 100 approaches during an immersion is like standard. What is the stream about? This is a Q&A stream about dating and self-development for men. Okay. Dude, there's so many questions and comments. Bro, when are you coming to Antarctica? Bro, I was already in Antarctica. I already fucked the penguins. Come on, bro. When you come out playing with fire again, you're a miss. And what Alex, you have the top 5 game excluding yourself. Do you have a top 5 game excluding yourself? I don't really have one right now, but I would. I could make one. I'd actually, let me think. For online game, the person who explains it the best is definitely Alex. I can't think of anyone that explains online game better than him. No cap. Let me think. For social circle / promoter style game, Justin Mark, hands down the best. For like just hacking, online dating and hacking stuff like that, David Bond, he's like the best of that. Harem game and like internet hacking game, David Bond. Like, dude, if at the point at which you're having an 8-sum from like scamming the internet, it's fair enough to say David Bond is top 5. Who else? I think I have to get someone for in-person game. I haven't really gamed with that many people recently that are just like insanely good, but I'm trying to think. I don't know, man. I'm hanging in there, man. Yeah, so dude, I will summarize it. So the thing is, if I give you this, how about this? Slick Joe, reply to this. Are you going to follow the advice I give you on this? Most people give the fucking dumbest fucking advice on this. Like dumb as bricks. I will give you the things that actually work, but I want you to comment. Are you going to follow the advice? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Okay. So the first thing is block porn on every single device that you own. So I'm going to put down the names of the things you use and write to me. Do you have iPhone or Android? Get Custodio on every device you have. And someone should be set up as your parent on there. And they manage the passwords, they do the blocking. The second thing is if you have, so you have iPhone, reach out to any of your friends, any of your family members you trust, make them your parent on screen time. Okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to go into screen time, and I'll actually give you the steps on here. There's a series of videos on my course where I'll show you the I walk through it, but let's go. Just give you the basic outline. As they say, give away the secrets, sell the implementation. Okay. Where do we go? Yeah, so iPhone. Let me see. iPhone. Yeah, so basically screen time, and then you can go into like sites. It'll say like block content, and you block all adult content. So toggle that on. So if you combine the Apple's natural blocking with Custodio, and then if you ever have a slip up, just put the websites in there like manually as well to add onto it. You will have such a hard time watching porn. It's like fucking annoying. The other thing is any of the apps that you find yourself slipping into that you can watch porn on, either put like a 1-minute timer or just completely block. So like I completely block Twitter, Reddit. I don't know what else. Tumblr, I don't even know if they have porn on there anymore. But I completely block those apps and those websites from all my devices. Actually, that's not true. I have a 1-minute timer set on Reddit because sometimes there are valuable things But the thing is, if you live close to someone, you could actually just you can have them access it for you, and like you can go on their Reddit, and then you can just give them their computer back. So that's step one, is block porn on everything. So it's literally impossible for you to watch it. That's step one. Step two is meet women in real life and start having all of your orgasms be with women. So your brain is either bonding with porn or real women. It can't do both. You have to choose between the two. So the more orgasms you have with real women, you don't even feel the need, the desire to watch porn, because you're like, I'm already having sex. And the other thing is, a lot of the reasons behind porn use is not that you're like super addicted or something. It's that you don't have other things in your life. So, for example, you don't have a friend group, a family group, a girl in your life. So you feel disconnected. And the more disconnected you feel, the more you find yourself getting into addictive behaviors, eating shitty foods, this type of stuff. The more connected you feel to people, to animals, to the planet, just connected in general, you tend to not fall into those traps. So the other thing is, when you have dates set up, you go like, in my mind, watching porn right now, I'd be like, dude, I have a woman that I love having sex with. I just want to like fucking bust a fat nut all over her face, dude. I don't want to fucking jerk off. Like, then I won't be as intense when I fuck her. I won't be as virile. It won't be as like horny. She won't feel the same experience around me. My dick won't be as hard. And I'm like, that doesn't interest me anymore. So yeah, I could summarize everything into 2 steps. It'd be that: block porn with Custodio screen time, or detoxify if you guys have Android, if you're poor. And then, no, I'm just kidding. And then number 2 would be meet real women, date real women, have sex with real women, and then be connected, reach out to people. Anytime you feel like you're going to have an issue, reach out to someone. You can also join an SAA group, Sex Addiction Anonymous group. And there's people in there you can literally like have an accountability buddy who will do all this shit with you. Like, he'll block the stuff. He'll be your parent. You can meet up with them whenever you feel whatever. Cool. Dude, I've gone clubbing and crutches, so I don't think that it'll be an issue. Cool. At the end of the day, would you say pickup is a numbers game? It is partially, but the thing is, the way people get fucked up is, again, the brain just wants a easy solution. So you go, oh, if it's just a numbers game, let me just put in numbers. Well, no, dummy. You still have to build a connection with the girls, right? You still have to like push past some of the objections that you get. You have to push past some of the insecurities and anxiety you feel, and you have to like try new things. It's not just action. If it was just action, everyone would get good at game. It's actually like you have to be strategic and be smart and learn from your mistakes. So cool. What are your thoughts on girlfriend AI and how more people are getting into relationships with AI? Yeah, so that's an interesting question. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the OnlyFans chicks too, right? Because like now, if you can just AI generate fucking porn and like images and conversations, and you have an AI girlfriend for $10 a month instead of like, I don't know, whatever the other stuff costs. Yeah, it's weird, dude. Like, I think we're entering a time where it's like, like every generation feels like, oh man, I don't want to have kids enter this time period, like, like the Cold War, they're like, every day you're just being taught about the threat of nuclear annihilation. It's like, oh, I don't want to raise kids in this. People still did. But now it's like, do you want to raise kids in a civilization that's just, people have artificial intelligence girlfriends and sex robots. Like, dude, I've been to like these sex conventions, and you guys have probably seen my video, like the AVN. You go to the booth, it's like real dolls. And like, dude, they're did you see the one where I was like, this is my new girlfriend? It was like an animatronic, like fucking sex robot. It's like, dude, that combined with AI, so you can have like real-time conversations with a sex robot. That's not too far away from having it like a robotic AI girlfriend. And it's kind of scary, dude. So the way I'm preparing for all this is I'm like at the precipice of like, or I'm like at the cutting edge of technology, but I'm also at the cutting edge of living off grid and like nature and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys know, I've done like survival courses. I'm going to put out a video on that too. Oh, I should write that down. This video's been 80% done for a long time. I actually just have to ask the guy who edited it for the Premiere file because I have to change some shit. Survival video, get Premiere Pro file from Max. Okay. So, yeah, it's kind of scary. So, yeah, I want to get as good as I can at like living off grid, animals, sustainable. I'm literally looking into like building an Earth ship. I don't know if you know what that is. I'll post it in the chat. Earth ship. It's basically like a sustainable house that has like limitless AC from the Earth, and you just collect rainwater. You use it in your to flush your toilet and like water your plants and stuff. Okay. And dude, I have a video. Let me see if I can pull it up. AI. I have a video of me talking about. Oh yeah, here it is. This is from 2016 or AIP. Let me see if I can. I'm so bad at sharing the screen on these things. Let's see. Share screen. AIPUA. Allow. So almost every time I share my screen, like people can't hear anything. So let me know if you can hear this. But this is after I did that famous sex show video that got 6 million views on the Honest Signals channel. This is like on the ride home.
AIPUA.
Yes, dude. We're out of a job in 20 years. Like,
it's like a robot just going like, go and approach. Come on, do it now.
Yeah, and the robot can interpret the girl signals and tell you exactly what to do.
Yeah.
Like, her body temperature is at 89%. Now it's time to leave out of the venue. So basically, AI is going to take over within 5 to 10 years and kill all of us. So if you guys aren't living the life you want to be living now, like there's no real future for it. So just live it now. Seriously.
AIPUA.
All right. Could you guys hear that? Give me a yes if you could hear that. That's funny, dude. Yeah, I got super big into AI like 2016, 2017. And just I literally watched every single video and every single podcast that existed on it. Like, what was that? 7 years ago. And then didn't really think about it again until like this year when all the ChatGPT stuff came out. Cool. Yeah, will be interesting to see. That would be, I don't know. I'd kind of be interested in joining some AI thing. If you guys are in a AI, artificial intelligence dating thing, hit me up. Actually, one of my friends here in St. Pete made this app. If you guys want to check it out, it's called Wing AI. It's like a better version of, I don't know. There's some other app that was like for messaging girls, and this one's just better. It's obviously still early on, and ChatGPT isn't the best, but it's pretty good. Thoughts on marriage and settling down? Don't you think after the pickup phase you'll never be happy married to one girl? So what you do is you actually sexually transmute your feelings or your sexual desire into building a business and having a family. So that's what one of my buddies is doing right now. This girl said she wants to see Dolly. I'm in. It'd be funny if she's watching the stream right now. Oh, really, Austen? Tell me more about that. But it'll be AI talking to each other via ear. So this is an interesting thing too. So basically every photo online is fake or highly edited. So you have two fake profiles meeting each other. And then now the communication between them is fake. So you have fake communicating fake with another fake that's communicating fake. And then you just meet up. And then at that point, it's essentially like a cold approach because everything's fucking fake. So I don't know. I feel like it's getting to the point with it online where it's like, why not just do cold approach? It's basically the same thing. Would you like to meet my fake profile in person? Yeah, nice, man. Yeah, I saw that course too. One of my students had it. Yeah, it's funny. Like, I think a third of the infield in his course is me. I don't consent. No, it's fine. They're pretty old infields too. It's funny that like a third of his infields are mine, and they're not even really that good. But whatever. What are the benefits of learning game? Yes. So actually, here I think I have something written up about this, dude. That's literally gonna be my tagline. I literally wrote this up. Learning game. Oh la 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 la. Where is it? Oh, you know what? It's in my. Okay, I found it. So why I want this? Yeah. So here's some of the benefits. You can have sexual intercourse with attractive members of the opposite sex. You crazy sexual experiences. You get love and attention from a girlfriend. You get attention from women. Women can relax you and ease your mind. Like, dude, getting a massage and a blowjob and like just hanging out with a girl, it's nice. The better you get at game, the hotter girls you get, which allows you to have better genetics for your children. So, yeah, if you want your children to have a better life than you, it's good to reproduce with a woman that is attractive, high IQ, cool, socially adept. You can express yourself authentically to the highest extent. You can have freedom of expression. It can help you find your purpose. You can feel like the man. You can feel desired, worshipped. There's another thing that's not in here, and it's that basically this is just why some of the benefits of getting game that are more immediate. But one of them is you get better social skills in general, which all of life is relationships. Your business is relationships and your ability to deal with people. Your friendships are your ability to deal with people. Your relationships with women, it's your ability to deal with people and, socialize. Same thing with your family. That's one of the things that, like, I felt like I was better at connecting with my family after I learned game. I felt like I was better at connecting with like everyone in society. You learn how to give value to everyone. And when you're like an authentic, calming, good vibe presence, like even animals want to hang out with you. Like there are some students I have, like my dog is like scared of them. And they're just like frenetic energy, So when you learn game and you learn how like you're being perceived and you learn how to like make people feel comfortable around you, even like animals, like just people, like all beings in general enjoy your presence. So if you can think of a situation where it'd be better for someone to enjoy you being there, then that's an area where game helps you. Another thing is that to get good at game, you can't get good at game and deny reality. You have to embrace reality at some point. So when you do that, you become like, guys, the red pill stuff. So think about if red pill wasn't fucking retarded, if you just had like truth. So the people that get good at game, typically they pursue truth and they end up getting better at business. They get really hot girlfriends. They're more successful. They're cooler. They have more interesting lives. They end up getting into like different higher forms of self-development, and they leave impacts on the planet that are good. Like, yeah. Yeah, so those are some of the benefits to learning game. The other thing is, like, anytime you reach a plateau, you realize like there's certain things you can do to get over it. And a lot of times it's like a health thing or self-development thing that helps you get better at game. So game is like the one thing that makes everything else easier, right? So it's like, oh, I want to meet this girl. I want to look like sexier for her. So I should actually like work on my physique. And it turns out the sexiest physiques that women perceive from men are actually the healthiest physiques. And I notice I said that women perceive of men, not men perceive of men. When men look at men, they think, wow, that guy looks good. It's like some guy that's roided out of his mind and looks like fucking horrible to women and like repulses women. So like the sexier you make your body, the healthier you are, which is cool. Same thing like your skin, your complexion, all this kind of stuff. If you want to like, another thing for your health is sleep. Like if you sleep better, you will feel better. You'll have better relationships and all that kind of stuff. So, cool. Well, you should have things that you enjoy doing, and then the thing is, motivation's fleeting. Okay, this is going to sound cliche. Everyone says this. Motivation is fleeting. What you actually need is stick-to-itness. You could write that down. Stick-to-itness. All you have to do is stick to it. Like, there's times, I actually had to take 4 months off the gym because of my neck and my nose recovery. But when I was going to the gym consistently, it was like, dude, sometimes I'd be tired and I just go anyway, right? It's better for me to stick to the habit and not break the chain than to not do that. And why? Because you're either sacrificing for your goals or the goals become the sacrifice. So what do you want more? The other thing is it's really important to meditate on your death. So like think, dude, and 60 years I'm going to be dead. And in 20 years from now, there's zero chance that I'm going to be like gaming. Like, so I have a limited amount of time that I could use to meet girls. And that's usually like, 18 to 40. So like you have that amount of time, and then you have like how often are you going to go out and all that kind of stuff. And if you're older, then think about that. You're like, I want to get married by the time I'm, let's say, for example, this is a common thing from guys. I'll have a guy who's like 30. He wants to get married and have kids by the time he's 35, and he has 5 years. Let's say he's working 60 hours a week. He doesn't have any, and then he like works out and then he does other things. It's like he doesn't have that much time to actually make this happen. And like to meet a girl and to fuck a girl, you don't have to go out that much. But if you want to find like your life partner, what are you going to choose out of 4 people? It's like retarded. No, to be choosing the best quality women, you have to be exposing yourself to a lot of them. Otherwise, you're making a dumb choice and it's going to end in a disastrous situation. Yeah, if guys that get into relationships and especially marriages out of comfort and convenience and urgency, they make huge mistakes in their partners and they're not compatible with them, and then that leads to divorce and separation and alimony and fucking not seeing their children and fucking really fucked up situations. So yeah, so the downsides, actually I have this here. I wrote that down, the downsides. Where is it? Sacrifice. Yeah. So here's the downsides. Or this is it's the trade-off. So you don't want to ever think of things of like, oh, this is the downside, so it's bad. Just think of the trade-off. Is the net good I'm getting more than the net negative? So the net negative of learning game, we already talked about the good. Tons of sex, hot girls, people want to be your friend, everyone wants to be around you, you make more money, you live a more exciting, fulfilling life because life is just relationships. So basically, if you want to, and then it motivates you naturally to fix all the other parts of your life. So, yeah, it's basically like the one thing that can help you level up. Oh, David's here. Nice. But yeah, some of the downsides would be you lose sleep, you lose free time. Actually, let's see if David can come on. How do I add him? Oh, I got to send David the StreamYard link. Dude, David will talk to you about the downsides. Dude, David's screen time from fucking StreamYard. Let's see if he joins. Whoop. But dude, he had like I think a 10, 11 hour screen time just from like messaging girls. How do you practice meditation for emotional control and confidence? Practical tips are appreciated. Yeah, so I think one of the things that I've done that's helped me is I do like mindfulness and body scan meditation. And whenever you feel like an itch or you ever feel something uncomfortable, you just kind of like sit through and you realize it goes away. That's one thing that helps. But I think you just gain emotional control in general because it strengthens your prefrontal cortex. David, why are you in a taxi? Taxi in the ghetto, bro.
How do I make it? Hold on. The fuck? Oh my god, dude. How do I change it?
Well, okay. He'll be back on. He's going to change. How to initiate flirting in warm, risky environments like work or school. I'm normally blunt, but I feel it's intense. Yes. What you do is you practice for girls in the real world, and then you get proficient at it. How do you flip the screen? I don't know. Let me see. Probably settings. Maybe. I'm a StreamYard noob. Oh, he got it. Nice. Yo, where are you going?
Yeah.
Yo, David, what's your screen time?
Screen time? You mean like how many hours a day?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So this guy was mentioning like
dude,
the
it's probably really high, man. I'm scared to even work.
What? Oh, okay. You're scared to look at it. Yeah, he's saying the downsides of learning game. I said sleep, free time, energy, money. You have to give up things like you have to play less video games. For me, it's definitely I had to give up porn. Toxic, low value friends. You have to give up your comfort zone, your old identity, your anonymity, and you risk getting STDs. Those are the list of sacrifices.
Yeah, I think the time is the biggest. Can we turn off this sound? Yeah, I think the time is like probably the biggest sink. Like, and let's see. Yeah, the time, the screen time, the loss of like hobbies and stuff. At least for me, at this present moment, it's the time, man. It's like a full-time job, like especially with what I'm doing, you know, and because like dating stuff, it's like a plant, and if you don't give it water, it just dies.
Yeah.
You can't.
Sir, where are your phones? Let's say that's it.
Oh, for the mirror. Yeah, I'm sorry. No problem. Hey, yeah.
Yo, so what about? Can you see this question?
Yeah, I can answer that. Wait, I become more resentful towards women. Any advice, experience of that? Well, look, what I would say is, first of all, these kind of feelings are usually coming from like a small data point. It's over here, by the way. Yeah. If you have just a few negative experiences, it's easy to like let those few negative experiences like cloud your. I call it like your life lenses. You know, like you have like lenses, right? And what a lot of guys do is they'll have these experiences that will put stains on their lenses, and now they start to see the world through that. So like a good example is maybe a guy is doing something to attract gold digger types, and they keep meeting gold diggers, and now they think every girl's a gold digger, and now they're just like that. They're like the bitter old man that thinks everything is like a. I'll talk to these guys who they genuinely think that women are like these like financial predators who are like all pretending to be a human just so they can. And you ask them like why they think that, and it's like because maybe like 2 out of the 3 girls they've had interaction with were that way. And you're like, okay, you can't extrapolate your like 2 data points upon the entire billions of people, you know?
Yeah, and do those guys that say that typically they seem kind of stifled or like kind of just lame, like they don't really have much of a personality?
Exactly. Well, what they do is, well, the point is resentful towards women. That kind of stuff will happen when you're not getting enough interactions, and you start to assume that, like, let's say, like, here's a good example, like, oh, I'm going to practice cold approach, and then the first three girls you go up to like don't like you, and then it's easy to like go home and be all pissed off, and then go on these forums and be like, oh, this doesn't work. It's like, dude, you talked to 3 people, like those 3 girls could have had diarrhea that day. One of them probably like lost her job. Like, you don't know like the truth, you know? And now you're projecting this feeling upon everybody. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, another thing I've seen is people that digest a lot of red pill and black pill content. They're basically like conditioning their mind to think women are a certain way, and just clouds their judgment with like this negative feeling.
The new wave of, you girls want to say hello to the peoples?
Hi.
Hello. Hey, I resent you. Oh, you're bad. I don't know. All the new red pill stuff, I think, is building up a lot of negativity, because what it is there's a sexually male population, and what a lot of this red pill stuff is guys realizing that they can get a lot of views and a lot of attention by being mean to girls and saying negative things, because it feeds into that, right? So like, think of it like this. If you're sexually frustrated and you're angry, what's going to be more entertaining? A guy saying, hey, this is how you fix it, or a guy like talking about how women are stupid and how, you know, their nature is bad, and OnlyFans, and like that might be more entertaining, right? So, okay, I make this analogy. Do you remember when Trump won the election, and then all this crazy far left, like woke feminism, like all this outrage started happening, and then all these YouTube channels popped up, like liberal destroyed, feminist wrecked. Do you remember that? How like Milo Yiannopoulos, the compilations. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and then the autistic Adam Smith guy, the the guy who talks really fast, the Jewish guy, and it's like he wrecks liberal student. This thing.
Exactly. The reason that was entertaining is because everyone who liked Trump felt frustrated with all the crazy woke culture. So I think it's a similar thing with Red Pill. Like
it's a
everyone's
natural reaction to it, and it doesn't. Yeah, what you're saying is like it doesn't require them to think, or it doesn't require them to act.
I'm gonna
just be like passive.
I'm gonna go back on the call. I'm at the dentist. I'll come back on the call in a few minutes.
All right, but yeah. So one of the things that I have for this, and he made a good point. Like, yeah, you can either be passive and just consume content that literally. I actually was writing up a video on this. Let me see. Red pill. Yeah, red pill is for losers. Yeah. So basically, it's an in-group, out-group. So what they do is they kind of train your brain to think like, here's your in-group, which is, oh, we're men in the West and we're like the victims of this because there's this bad group. So there's like these unlikable women, whores, and OnlyFans girls. They're like the scapegoat. And then the strategy is they make content about how all problems that you experience are from group 2, which is the unlikable women, basically. And then they provide evidence, regardless of how like voracious it is, regardless of how impactful it is. And they just say it confidently. So your brain goes, oh, wow, he said it confidently and it's an easy solution. So it makes sense, or easy explanation. And then this naturally anger-fueled debate content spreads, and because anger is the most viral emotion. And then they let previous unhealed trauma from women color their tone about women in general. And then they monetize it. And then they provide little in the way of strategy. So basically they keep that audience growing. Because my services, people use them and then they oftentimes don't come back because they get a wife. If someone's like learning from me and they're like, this is going great, and then they get a girlfriend and they start dating her, they're dating for 7 years. It's like, I don't, year 3, I don't get, hey man, you want some more tips? It's like, dude, they're in a 4-year relationship already. Versus if you're just like consuming that content, it just keeps you down. So my analogy is that red pill is veganism for dating. Like veganism, people find it because they're unhealthy and they're like, oh, how do I fix this veganism? And then the end result of veganism, people's teeth fall out. They get like imbalances, nutritional deficiencies, and they become more unhealthy. And the same thing with red pill. It's like you join red pill and you start following it because you're like disenfranchised. But then the end result is you're just poorer and more angry toward women. So anyway, I'm ranting. The other thing the one strategic thing I'd have you do is just write down things that you love about women. So from the physical to the spiritual, what you enjoy spending time with them, how it feels, how they make you feel. Be descriptive, poetic. And if you need somebody to go off of, read The Alabaster Girl by Zan Perion. It's literally like poetry about women. Anyway, let's see if we got any tips for building a social circle from scratch. Honestly, dude, I'm not a big social circle person. I don't care. I don't want to have a lot of people around me, to be honest. David, what are your social circle techniques? Also, dude, I feel like you always have to define this first. Most people, what they think of as a social circle is not a social circle at all. Especially in like this manosphere. Social circle means I used Instagram to hang out with girls and I maybe fuck one of them. That's like social circle game.
Hold on, I gotta cross a busy street. Hold on.
Why are there no pedestrian crossings?
Dude, I'm always in a war zone, bro.
David, when are you going to go to a high IQ country where the city is designed properly?
Hold on. I'm not really in a position to do all this. So, my girls, they have stinky breaths, so I'm getting their teeth cleaned. But
The trade-offs of the developing world.
the dentist.
Oh my god.
We'll have to do this another time.
All right,
It's too loud.
later on. Dude, so I'm in a group chat. It's called AC. It stands for the Alpha Circle with David and some other people. And he'll literally post like photos. Like these girls have like just the amount of calculus on the back of their teeth is like insane. And he literally has to bring his girls to get like to the dental hygienist because they've never gone in their lives. And it's fucking nuts, dude. Like the difference before and after. Cool. Let's see. How long do you think it will take you to get burned out in the dating niche? So I've covered, well, once this course is out, I will have basically covered every single thing that has to do with game. And yeah. And then the main things that have to do with game, I've said them out of my mouth hole like 1,000 times. So I don't know. It's like, it's kind of just the psychology of people finding out about it is more interesting to me now than the actual dating stuff. Dating is interesting because you can break it down infinite number of ways, which can keep my like super in-depth brain busy. So like I go into evolutionary psychology. I go into different I travel the world and see how it's done differently. I'll watch documentaries about different dating cultures. I will, I talk to the best guys in the world every single day about game. Like, so I can analyze things in so many different ways. I can talk about like the biological side of it. I can talk about the cultural side of it. I can talk about what's practical. I can talk about what works. I can tell, and I talk about all those things from the point of view of like teaching thousands of people in real life. So it's kind of interesting in that sense. But the psychology of people finding out about it is so interesting to me because it's like, I almost think like it is one of the hardest things to sell. Like I honestly do believe this is one thing I do respect a lot of dating coaches. Anyone that does it properly. There's obviously like almost every dating coach on Facebook's a fucking faggot. Like they're just like writing long form weird stuff that just doesn't even make sense. It's just like marketing copywriting constantly. And they just like DM you, hey bro, you gonna, and you're like, why are you need to reach out to me if you're successful? You're not, obviously. But yeah, but for the actual dating coaches, the guys that have infield, the guys that are good, it's interesting to me. What was I going to say? I don't remember what I was going to say. Fuck. I was reading this comment. My validation got triggered. This guy constantly over delivers. Thanks, man. Let's see if I can be more consistent though, because I need to. I'm going to start uploading not just lives and shorts. I'm going to upload regular videos. If you don't have friends, that a huge red flag for girls. It is, because having no friends means that you don't really have much of a support network. And it means that you don't have people that can help you in case of times of trouble. So a very big thing that women look for is your status in a group. So almost every group I'm a part of, I end up taking some kind of leadership role. That's partially because nothing cool ever gets created on its own. Usually it's like I have to create it. So I'm just like a de facto leader in a lot of groups. But yeah, it is kind of a red flag. Okay. Yeah, and another thing, so like dude, I'm 3 hours of sleep. This is tough. I'll go for like another 15 minutes and I'm gonna fall asleep. Any advice on avoiding STDs? Honestly, the best thing you can do is wear a condom and pop your dick through your boxer shorts so you don't get STDs that spread through the boxer zone. So some of the STDs that can be spread are actually here. I'll answer this and I'll answer I didn't give the social circle guy a good answer. So Yeah. So, do you have any advice on avoiding STDs? Yeah. Basically, condom and then boxer shorts. Guys are like, oh, I can tell if a girl's slutty. Well, not really. Like, even though I've met some really like very innocent looking girls, and then behind the scenes, they are like the freakiest ones. So you can't really tell how many girls, how many guys a girl has been with. There's obviously like dead giveaways, like tattoos, like weird piercings, smoking cigarettes, flight attendant, nurse, things like that. Likes going out, nightclubs, this type of stuff. But yeah, it's hard to tell. So you basically just have to wrap up and poke your dick through your boxer shorts. Most STDs are not a big deal as long as your immune system is good. Yeah, basically your immune system suppresses most STDs as well. Like not most, but some, so they aren't actually an issue. I don't know the answer to this question, but I assume it's pretty similar. Okay, let's see the social circle. Yeah, so basically, well, you have to define what you're talking about, because most people, when they talk about social circle or social circle game, they don't even mean social circle. A social circle to me means that you have friends, family, girls, and like acquaintances that you know. So it goes back to Dunbar's number, which is like 150. So basically, you want to have 150 connections with people where like you know their name, you know their face, and then you can understand the connection between all 150 of those people. And then you have like what? I forget the rule. It's like 5 close friends, 10 something else. I don't know. And then there's like family, whatever. There's like concentric circles, and obviously the biggest circle, probably like 100 people or whatever, just going to be like acquaintances, people you see pretty often. And yeah. So yeah. So it depends. Do you want that, or do you want to just use like, so what people refer to as social circle game doesn't refer to having a social circle. It usually refers to understanding how to leverage rich guys, promoters, photographers, what else? DJs, into creating events where you have a good girl to guy ratio, and then you can have sex with a pretty hot girl. And you just throw like events, or you get other people to host them. You do it like once every 2 weeks or whatever. And yeah, so it's kind of like party planning / setting up like events. So if that's something that you enjoy doing, it's definitely a viable strategy, but you should learn game first. I've talked to the best people in the world of this. Universally, they say, yes, learn game first and then learn how to do social circle game. And then, yeah. So it's like learn how to hunt before you learn how to farm. When do you organize a New York City boot camp? I actually have a New York City boot camp coming up July 20th to the 23rd. So I don't know if I post the link in the chat. It's actually clickable, but I'll send you the link for that. It's worst case scenario, you can copy and paste or something. I don't know. But it's awesomesummers.com/immersion. My immersion programs are, they have me, an assistant, 4 students. So it's a 2-to-1 ratio, student to instructor. And yeah, the first day, even before you come, you get access to my course. So you get access to the best information on the internet about how to get good at the skill set and how to learn it, more importantly. And then you get access to group chats so you can connect with people in your city prior to the program. You get access to group chats so you can talk to people around the world that are in my game transformation course, as well as my previous immersion students. Then the day you arrive, we do self-development, deep dive. You get photos, and then we run through some basic strategy for going out. Then we do a shorter night game. And then Friday is all about night games. So you learn theory, and then we drill the 3 skill set chunks about night game so that you can pull it out of your brain. We go out, I coach you, I wing you, and I'm not just there to observe and push you in. I'm actually in the interactions with you. We take notes on everything you do. We film everything you do. We review it afterward. Yeah, if you pull, we pull with you, as you'll see in the documentary that's coming out. Friday night is usually when most people are pulling. I help you pull. I help you all the way to the apartment. I help you isolate the girl in the apartment. I don't put the condom on you. That's the one thing I don't do. So you're going to have to learn how to put your own condom on prior to the program, because that is unfortunately not covered. And then we review notes and stuff the next day, and we review videos. Then we do day game. So we do, I drill you guys on the differences between night game and day game. So we do drill you on the open. Basically, less than 0.1% of people do an open correctly. So we teach you how to do an open properly. So you're not opening from behind. You're not touching the girl. You're not opening too close. That scares the girl. Those are the 3 biggest mistakes you guys make when approaching, by the way. And then, yeah, so we have you drill that. You literally open me like 20 times until you get it right. So that way you don't waste your opens on girls when you're not doing it right. You learn it on me, and then you actually approach real girls. Then we drill you on insta dating, so you can have longer interactions and build a connection, and then pulling in the daytime. So how to do that, which is a little bit different. And then, yeah, and everything you do during the daytime during our session is filmed, and then we review it in HD audio and video, tell you exactly what you're doing right and wrong. And you can literally see the lessons yourself, because you can see yourself doing them. Like I'll have students, it's really funny. They'll do like a girl will playfully turn around, and then he thinks it's over, and then he turns around and walks away. And then you see in the footage, the girl like flips around and is like, why did he just leave? So yeah. Also, I can put an earpiece in your ear so I can talk to you if you want to do that. I'll lead you through the interactions, kind of like I'm, like the Avatar movie, like I'm remote controlling you from afar, telling you what to do. A lot of dates are had after that. And then Sunday's the photography day. So we do photography. I show you how to edit the photos. I show you systems for like you can have them done automatically. So you have like at the end of the program, you should have like 10 epic photos that you can use on online dating, Instagram for like the next 5 years. And Instagram a lot more than are polished for your online dating. And then I show you like how the whole system works. So how to keep track of girls. So how do you message them? How do you keep track of them in a funnel? So you can literally I built a CRM for students to use, so they can like drag girls different stages of the funnel, keep track of them. And then also is like your lay tracker. It's also your field report. It's all built in one, because I do things better than everyone else. What else? Yeah, I show you the system for how to message girls. I also have an app for you to download, and I literally have you import messages that are optimized for getting things moving toward a date. And you literally just tap buttons for like 50% of all the messages that you'll have to send with girls. So you're never like stuck thinking like, oh, what do I have to say? And then, yeah, after the program, I don't just say, hey, fuck you. I actually give you a detailed plan of what to do. I give you a strategy session. I connect you with wingmen in your city. And then, yeah, what else? Yeah, and then you're in my group chat, so basically you can connect with people going forward, and yeah, and then you have access to monthly calls forever. So that's my pitch, I guess, because everyone kept asking about it. All right, yeah, and if you're just trying to make friends, just start making those connections, start socializing. I actually have a whole video on this, and the course is called "How to Make Friends as an Adult." Biggest things for me have been playing sports. So if you play sports, you meet people around that. And then think about what you like. Write down the stuff that you're into and then find groups where you can meet people that are into that. The thing is, it's kind of weird in the society if you're just like cold approaching guys and like, hey, we should be friends. But what you find is if you're in like groups where you're just like hanging out with guys, you know, you'll have like, for example, one of my friends here in Miami is some guy I met through Ultimate Frisbee. And like, dude, I drove with him all the way to Atlanta to go to an Ultimate Frisbee tournament and then drove with him all the way back. And, you know, you get to know someone over the course of, you know, like 18 hours of driving, a tournament and that kind of stuff. So, dude, just search my name on YouTube and type meditation. You can have it. There you go. Okay. Well, Ben, to be fair, you need to lose some of your chunkiness and optimize your aesthetics more and stop eating fast food for every meal. Dude, I'm fading fast, man. Haven't been sleeping much lately. Transitioning from being in Europe to America is kind of a strange transition. When you're having the first conversation to start dating after hanging out for a while, how do you establish boundaries and explain this is what I want in a girlfriend and this is not, in a healthy, polite way? Yeah, so that's a really good point. You should bring up boundaries before they come up in a dispute or something like this, or like she breaks one of your boundaries. It's much easier to proactively have boundaries than it is to retroactively try to enforce a boundary that's already been broken by her. So one of the things I'll do is I say it basically in a way where I talk about this is how it makes me feel. Okay, so if you want to write this down, it's a good format for this. Difficult. This is a video I'm working on right now for the course. Okay. So one, you basically tell the girl the things you like about her, reaffirm your feelings. So just put number one, that you care about her, you know, you love her and you want this to be a great relationship, blah, blah, blah. And if it's too early on to say those things, then you can just say these are, you know, I enjoy spending time with you, basically. Number two, you want to talk about how certain things make you feel. Be like, some things make me feel bad and some things make me feel good. Some of the things that make me feel bad in a relationship is when girls do this. It makes me feel like angry when a girl like goes out and does XYZ. It makes me feel disrespected if a girl will, you know, just assume that I'll pay for something without asking first, or like tries to stay over when I have an early morning the next day or something like this. So you can establish boundaries in that way. We're talking about how certain things make you feel, and you can talk about it in story form because that's what clicks in people's minds most. And then, yeah, you can talk about what you need in a relationship. So like, it's important for me in a relationship to feel respected. And one of the things that shows that you respect me is that you bring me new women to fuck on a daily basis. No, I'm just kidding. But it could be, yeah, that you clean up. You know, after, let's say we eat, you clean up. After we wake up in the morning, you make the bed. That makes me feel respected. You know, stuff like this. Cool. Yeah, I've gamed in Amsterdam like 3 times. Pretty good. I actually have one of my videos from Amsterdam. If you look up, I think it's like one of the earliest videos on this new channel I have, Austen Summers. It's in Amsterdam. It's in Rembrandtplein. What do you think of David Goggins? It's like you can learn some things from him, but like, would you want to switch places with him? No, not a chance. Like, He's obviously a clinical psychopath. Like anyone that's like is just like stay hard. The doctor said that my fucking feet are broken. I said, fuck you, doctor. You're a fat motherfucker. It's like, I don't know, man. I tried listening to his book. Like, he had some book, like, it was one of the most recommended books I've ever gotten. You Can't Hurt Me or something like this. And dude, like, I couldn't make it one chapter and it was too painful listening to that. You Can't Hurt Me. It's like that book fucking hurt me, dude. So the documentary for the Immersion is being developed now. So there is like, I think 500 gigabytes of footage for it, and it's being edited by a guy in the Netherlands right now. So I think you'll have like version 1 done in a couple of days, and then there's going to be some tweaks and stuff and final edits. So I don't know, maybe a week. I actually don't know. If it was me editing, I could tell you, but I don't know what his process is like. Can you explain what? No, these are things that I don't cover on YouTube. Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 things that if you cover on YouTube, your channel vanishes. So I'm not going to cover them. Have you gamed in India? Yeah, dude, I did a whole tour of India. I went from New Delhi to Bangalore. I went to Dharamshala. Yeah. What's your future as fatherhood and your future partner, monogamy, etc.? So ideally, I find a girl who's like open to having threesomes, but I don't really necessarily need that. Ideally, I'd have a girl who would be okay with me having another wife. I would ideally like to have 2 wives, but I'd be fine with just having 1 wife, to be honest, just 1 woman. And the future I want is like living in a place that's an enjoyable place to live in, where I just see my kids having a good future. Like most places in America, I see too many problems, and I see so many ways that my kids could get, like just stuck in bad situations, and I just don't like it. I think the older I get, I start seeing the benefit of a social safety net. Like when you look around in society in America and you see the amount of homeless and crazy people on the streets just terrorizing everyone's day, you're like, maybe if these people had a social safety net and they had a place to live and there was like an effective program for not becoming addicts, the city wouldn't be so bad. Unfortunately, when I look around in America, I just see a bunch of fucking, I don't even want to talk. I just don't see a future. I just doesn't really, I'm in legitimately the best place in the United States. And even now I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't really see the benefit. So probably be living in Europe, living somewhere where I have a condo and then I have like a place in the countryside that's a working farm. And then, taking trips with my kids into the mountains, hiking, camping, getting them connected with nature, having an awesome, caring mother to take care of them, and just having time to spend with my children, give them a better life than I have received. Yeah, from what I've seen, he seems pretty cool. He like reached out once to do a podcast, and then I reached out back to him, and it just hasn't happened yet. But eventually, we'll do something. Yeah, he really took over the like sex coaching niche. I think he's like he may be the highest earning person in sex coaching on the planet. I think he makes like multiple 7 figures a month or something. So there are things that I think like it would be cool to do homeschooling, as long as there were other homeschool kids. Honestly, one of the things I've thought about is buying land and then having my friends live on the land with me, and we all each have a house, and then we have shared like land use, and then we can like all raise our kids together and like in a way that's not like the government's just telling kids to snip off their dicks at age 5 or something, dude. Like the amount of like brainwashing, not just like pro government brainwashing or, you know, like pro living in the matrix brainwashing, but it's like they're like enforcing like gender dysphoria and like random shit like this. Like, dude, that's essentially child abuse. If you're fucking with children that hard, it's like I do not want my children subjected to that. So yeah, definitely private school in a way that they're not going to be like just wrecked by dumb Twitter user teachers. That or homeschool where we have like a community type thing with my friends. But it's really important for kids to socialize. So definitely not like just regular public school. Like, dude, I am so fortunate. I'm extremely intelligent to make it through school without falling into like just blindly obeying authority. But I don't know, man. If I have like 4 kids, like one of them could fall for it, you know? So cool. Let's see. Yeah, it's like, dude, and you look around in like modern society, it's like, dude, not many people are happy or thriving. It's like, it's kind of sad. Yeah. But when I look at like when I was in Europe and I went to Copenhagen, I was just like, dude, this is a place where like if my child got raised here, I would feel like comfortable. It's like it's a society of rich, high IQ, interesting, environmentally conscious, health conscious people. It's like I don't know how you would build a society better than that. Obviously, there's downsides of Northern Europe, right? Long winters and it's kind of dreary a lot of the year. But I think the most important thing is that you have decent values in a society and you have like a future that looks good to you. Cool. All right. Well, I guess that's a good way to end it. So I'm going to end the broadcast unless I cover all the super chats. Yeah. So for this one, again, I just want to restate: learn game with strangers, then use it in familiar situations afterward. Cool. Let's see. All right. Later, guys. Bye.